We're at Galot, got the hot rod, got Brandon and Randy. Check this out. In the link below, this is the first time I'm going to say this. In the link below, you can get yourself a Turbo John t-shirt. Woohoo! Got blue and gray, I think. But it's just TJ, and on the back is pretty, the back is pretty plain. Here, Randy's going to do the back.
Go fast and get some wind line.
That's a good term, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So I thought that worked out pretty good. I think it was actually Kelly's idea. Everything's Kelly's idea. I get no credit. I just give it. I've been married a long time. That's right. It's her idea and it's her decision. Yep. All right, so we're over here. We just changed the oil pressure sensor. There was a little bit of oil in it, but not bad. So we got a kind of late start. You can see it's dark again. The track is pretty busy. John Doc is down there hiding in his stacker and big toter home. I called him out today, asked him did he want some smoke tonight, and he said, oh, I didn't want none. And then he followed that up with a picture of it sitting in the stacker. And I said, okay, well, I need something. I know he's being faster than me now. My junk is a turtle, so we might touch him up 9:30 or so, maybe do heads up. But I'm just trying to get mine tuned up. Going to try to do Chris Moore's race at 7:10 this weekend, possibly Roxborough on Sunday. It kind of depends on how it goes. So we're just trying to also make sure that I've got good oil pressure. I've got to recalibrate my sensor. My sensor that was in it was 150 PSI sensor. I ordered some 100s. So not a big deal. I'm gonna show you how to do that though real quick. And we're gonna make some passes. Okay, so one of the things I get a lot of questions about is my timing ramp. So I've got an advanced table. If you look, go into your advanced table up here, this one right here, click it, and then over here to this side, you've got options. I use the gear retard 1D table. And I name it launch pedal shift, time and offset and time. You see I've got a little delay. It starts at 10th of a second after I release the brake. But then you just come in and this thing is really cool. And this is really good for power management. And so I come in here and I pull 8 degrees of timing out. And this ramp is at 1.5 seconds. And you can set how many gears you want. So I've got it set for a few gears, and I'll tell you the reason why I do that. But this is going to be the shift. You set it up, and so when it shifts gear, the time is going to ramp in, and then when it shifts, then it's going to do this. And so it's going to pull, I think it's 5 or 6 degrees or 4 degrees for like a half a second. It's just so that it doesn't upset the car when it shifts. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't, and that really doesn't slow the car down. So that's the second gear. But you'll notice if you come down here, I've got it set up for 4 gears. And so what you can do, if you're on a track and you want to have like a pedaling strategy, so you can come in here and say, okay, well on this one right here, on the 3rd and the 4th gear, it pulls 8 or 10 degrees, then ramp it back in a second or a half a second. If you take off in the car, you have to pedal it for any reason, it's going to think you shifted gears. And so if you do it in first gear, it'll catch this first one. And then if you do it in high gear, pedal it, it'll do another retard out here. So it just thinks you're shifting gears. So that's why I call it a pedaling strategy. And it does help, it does work. So I mean, that's something you can do with it. So that's how I do my timing retard. And I don't ever really touch this thing. I'll manipulate the boost, and if the track gets really, really good, I might pull out a little bit less timing over here. I might pull out like, 2 or 3 degrees, 4 degrees of timing. And so that's how I do that. So into the sensors, I'll show you what you got to do to the oil pressure sensor too. So this is pretty simple. You just go in, click sensors up here, oil pressure. This is a custom pressure. And you can see this was 150 PSI. So I'm gonna just change that to 100. And then I will highlight all of this. And then you just highlight it. It's hard to do with one hand. Right click it and then hit fill row values. And now that is calibrated, and the voltage of course is on the bottom. And almost all sensors, what you do is you put over on the left, 0 is a half a volt and 4.5 is the full voltage. That's how you set your sensors up. So I've got this set up now. So we're about to crank it, make sure our oil pressure is good and stable. Okay, so we're about to start this thing up. Got the new oil pressure sensor on it. It is calibrated properly. And we're gonna crank it. I did. It's a little cold outside. We're getting into some boost weather now. So it says 79 degrees for the cooling temperature sensor, but it's a little colder than that. I mean, I guess it got hotter during the day. I hadn't had a chance to cool on down. I'm gonna look for oil pressure, make sure that the oil pressure is not fluctuating. If the oil pressure is fluctuating here, then either I've got a wiring issue or it could be correct and I've got a motor issue happening. Let's find out. Properly after I do that for some reason. All right, there's back now. All right, oil pressure seems to be good. Everything, it made boost. So I think we're ready to go make a pass. I've got the beat down John Dock tune up in it. We'll see if it holds up. All right, so we went to do a burnout. Apparently the John Dock tune-up is bad. That probably was not a good choice. No, that didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know what exactly happened, but we went to do the burnout. The car kind of started struggling a little bit on the burnout, and then all of a sudden the car kind of choked off, and then we heard a little rattle. So we pushed it off the starting line and tried to crank it over here, and Randy said he heard it. It sounded like it was in the valve covers pretty good, so we just pulled all the valve covers off. I usually don't have a lot of rock arm maintenance I have to do on this thing. This camshaft is not huge. So pulled them all off and started going through the valves, and the intake valve on this cylinder here, which is cylinder number 246, cylinder number 6, had no lash. And so upon further investigation, when I pulled them off, if you notice, they are real high. And if you also notice, there is no gap on that spark plug. And then look right there, this thing has dropped the valve. And so that was the noise we were hearing. I don't know if it's dropped completely or not, or if maybe the head's just tulip, but we're gonna pull it out and see what happened. Oh yeah, look at that. It just moved completely. Did you see that? So these are not the best. It just come up another ½ inch. I mean, these are not the 100% best valves. The exhaust valves are really good. The intake valves I thought were decent enough, but apparently I need to change all the intake valves. So the heads are going to have to come back off. Hopefully the piston is not damaged too bad. I've got really good severe duty Manley valves on the exhaust side, so I think that's what it's going to get on the intake side as well. You know, we got really lucky that this happened, you know, in the burnout box as it was coming down. I don't know exactly at what RPM it happened, but I got really lucky this didn't happen at 40 pounds of boost and, you know, 8,000, 8,200 RPM. That would have been catastrophic to that cylinder and that head. So that would have been bad. So it's only like 9:20. So since it's not real late, I'm at the track. I enjoy working on the car at the track, so I'm fixing to snatch this head off real fast. So we're going to tell you exactly what happened. You'll be able to see it real good. Okay, told y'all we were at the track. Y'all think we were playing, didn't you? It's almost apart. He's working on getting that header off. I've already got these header bolts loose. Here, check that out. One of these is not like the other. Hopefully we don't have a lot of damage. We're about to pull it apart. We'll get this head off of it. We're going to probably go ahead and get both of the heads off of it. We're so close. And that way I don't have to work on it in the trailer. Normally I work on it in the trailer. We've only been working on probably about, how long have we been working on it? 30 to 45 minutes?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
45 minutes. So it is, you can see, it looks like my car exploded at the track. There we go. Ooh. That's what I thought happened.
Looks like it closed the gap.
How did it get over here on this side?
I think it closed the gap on L2 anyway.
Yeah.
That one's good. That one's closed up a little bit.
All right, so we didn't get done by the time they turned on the lights, but we're in the trailer now. Everybody helped me push it in. Got both heads off. Other side, driver's side is not bad, but this side over here, that is the front piston. That's the one where the valve, I'll show you, the valve turned sideways. It broke the valve. A piece of the valve went up back through the intake and ended up in this cylinder. And it beat the head and cylinder to death on this side. So, looks like I'm gonna need 2 pistons. These are a little beat up, but nothing that a Scotch-Brite pad can't fix on those. So that's not bad. I mean, I don't know really what happened. I assume that it just snapped the head off of the intake valve, and then it just, you know, started beating around and got smashed up in there. That rod may be hurt, but I hope not. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'll snatch the motor out. It's to the point now. I mean, it's almost out. So I'll just next couple days, next week or two, I'll get this thing out, pull the bottom end apart. You know what sucks is I finally got a freaking oil pan. That oil pan has been on there forever, and it normally leaks a little bit. But I used that Moto Seal this time, and it is not leaking a freaking drop of oil. It is that. Well, I'm gonna do it again. I mean, maybe I got lucky and that's the solution, but it is not leaking a drop of oil, and that's always the way it goes. It doesn't leak a drop of oil, and I have to take it apart. And I'm sure when I put it back together, it'll be leaking again. I hope not, but you never can tell. But anyway, my little sidetrack. There was a little bit of material down in this one. But I mean, everything's fine otherwise for the most part down there. So check the head out though. So this is the head. Check that out. And this has got, now all the chambers are beat up a little bit. It did exactly what I thought. It looks like the seat come out of it. I guess when it turned sideways, that's what we found. We found a bunch of seat material. I can't even get this wedged in there. I have to dig it out. So the seat come out. I guess what happened is when it got turned sideways up in there, it pulled the seat out, and then the seat stuff, the valve ended up over here. The little piece of valve, and you can see it beat that up like crazy. It's going to need to be re-welded. Not that big a deal though. All the exhaust valves look fine from what I can tell. Those are mainly severe duty exhaust valves. The intake valves, I don't remember what they are, but they are not going back in there. Man, it is smack down in there. That is, looks like the threads where the spark plug is okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's not terrible. I mean, this one right here got more damage. We'll just weld all that stuff back up, weld all of it up bigger than it was, and pop a new valve seat in there and have it back together soon. And here's the other head. I mean, it's got a little bit of damage. I mean, we'll resurface them, of course, and just a little bit of welding on that. Overall, that was not bad though. So we're done. It is what it is. We got a tore up motor again. I mean, we'll fix it. We'll get it back right. I mean, random stuff happens. I mean, we just had a streak of bad luck here. So hopefully maybe this is the end of it. Between the stuff that's happened with Randy's and stuff what happened with mine, maybe when we get his back together, we won't have any more issues. So his is ready to roll. So we'll be working on his. Brian's kicked butt on it. The body work is done. All he's waiting on is a couple little parts. The biggest thing that he's waiting on though is the wheel. It's a custom made billet specialty wheel. And so we should have it one day next week. So hopefully we'll be fine. We'll be back at the track with his soon. Mine might take a little while. I mean, we did a lot of work on it here tonight. I've got a game plan. I need 2 pistons. So I'll probably go ahead and get my pistons ordered. I think everything else is fine. Get the heads fixed. But we'll see. We'll be going back to my buddy Richard Coates. We'll be going to the machine shop soon. So we'll be dropping this stuff off to him and letting him get the ball rolling on the heads. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, it sucks when things break. I mean, we push these things hard. We push them to the edge, and, you know, it just is what it is. So either we can get mad and stomp our feet and not do anything and just leave it in the trailer for a month or two, or work on it. I choose to work on it. And luckily, you know, Brandon and Randy and, you know, we had David Parrish out here tonight. We all worked on it a little bit. I mean, within a couple hours, you know, we had it all apart. Got a game plan for what we need to do to get it back together, and, you know, and got it pushed in the trailer. So it's strapped down. I'm gonna take it. We're gonna ride, and I will start doing some things. Don't forget, guys, merch. Woo, Turbo John. I think it's a pretty cool shirt. It's got go fast and get wind lights on the back. Pretty understated. I don't like big loud things. So that's the reason we got these colors. This is the blue one, I think, but it's almost like a gray. It's like a dark navy blue. But this is cool, and we got grays. Check them out. Go to the store, order you some Turbo John t-shirts. That's all we got. We're gonna get some hats at some point. It's just a matter of when we get that done. I appreciate y'all joining in. Like, comment, and subscribe if you've not already done so. Go fast and get some wind lights, or at least keep your stuff running. Later.